All right, it's a Wednesday night. We're about ready to jump on a VIP coaching call. This is something that I put on for my VIP clients in my coaching program. And I have some structure that I bring with this, but a lot of this stuff is stuff I'm being told during the week. I'm hearing during the week. I'm seeing these repetitive actions during the week as I'm talking with clients. I'm living my own life, and so I'm bringing these experiences in, and I'm teaching them applicable pieces to my clients so they can take them and integrate them into their own life and actually see success in their life. Obviously with their health, obviously with their fitness, but if we're not growing here and it's not connecting to our hearts, all the change is temporary then. So how do we make a transformation actually real and true? It has to grow here, make the connection here. And so that is really the point of these calls. So we're about ready to dive in. It starts here in 3 minutes. I'm actually going to get the Zoom open, and we'll see who's on tonight. But we're going to bring some fire. We're going to bring some sauce for them tonight. These calls typically are not very long. I like to go in depth, but keep them shorter. So sometimes they're 15 to 20 minutes. Sometimes they're 30 to 40, depending on what we're going over that night. So we do some Q&As in this as well. Some nights we're doing some wins, and we go deep. We do some good teachings. We've really had this flow going since like June. So we've had this like 4 or 5 month flow where it's just like every week continues to grow on the previous week. It's been really organic, which that's special. That's stuff you can't just plan. It just comes from being locked in tune, and everybody in tune with the same things. So that's what we want. Oh yeah, Harold's already on. What's up, man? Lamar's already on. Hey, brother, he's on the bike. He's crushing it. I love it.
Get a little warm up in.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Jackie's on. Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Wonderful. Good to see you. Who do we got over in this? We got Adam over there in the dark. I see you, Adam. What's up, man?
Oh, I'm just heading out of work. So in the dark, driving home.
I'm glad you're on, brother. Marie's still got daylight where she's at. What's up, girl?
Good to see everybody.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm wishing the sun was still up here. I'm jealous.
It's a background, man. I just took.
Is that really a background? Oh, yeah. You're killing me. That looks beautiful. Dude, it looked like you were sitting out on your deck.
No kidding.
That's not fair.
Right? I thought you were out on your deck right there. That's amazing. All right, we're going to give this another minute. Renee's jumping on. Super pumped. Harold, are you at work right now?
No, I'm actually sitting and waiting until we get to Dark League at 7:30.
Oh, nice. I couldn't tell.
I finished it a little bit ago. So.
Awesome. Very cool. I like it.
Yep, and then right after Dark League, it's a quick drive home and then my walk.
Heck yeah. James is on. What's up, man?
Hey.
Debo's on.
Yes, sir.
Let's go, bro. Lamar, you're looking good, man. I can tell you're dropping it. That's great. All right. Okay. You guys ready to rock and roll tonight? You guys ready for this tonight? You guys ready to rock? This is going to be good. At least in my mind it's going to be good, which when I tell myself that, it better be good. At least I hope. Go ahead, Marie. Yeah. I'm like cutting out. I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Don't forget to record.
Thank you, because I was getting all excited. This is why I got you, Marie. This is why you're here. Brendan's on. I'm glad we waited. How are you, man?
Doing good. Finally made it on for one of these.
Let's go. It's been a couple, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been at least a month.
I'm so glad you're on, man. I'm so glad you're on. Your pretty face always blesses my screen. Let's go. All right, I saw somebody else jump on. Rich jumped on too. There he is. Sweet. I know he's hauling corn right now. It's harvest time. I'm glad you could jump on for a little bit, man. All right, you guys, we're going to get this party started. I'm going to press record like Marie commanded me to because I would have forgotten. And we're going to get this party started tonight. You guys, I was doing some thinking today. You know how we've been starting with these, like, I ask you what your wins are for the week, right? Why do we actually do that? Why does this matter? Why do I start off the same way, getting a couple wins from you guys every single week? Because I want to continually reframe our thinking in a positive manner. I want to continually just grain that into you guys because so many times what do we do when we're struggling? We think about our struggle. We think about our struggle and why am I struggling with this? And it really had me thinking. I was sitting in a coffee shop this morning and I'm like, man, the real struggle isn't the struggle. The real struggle, the real problem is why our own perception of why we struggle. And so if you're sitting here every night and you're binge eating, let's use this for an example, the real problem isn't that you're binge eating. That's not the problem. The problem is why are you binge eating? And so we have to peel back some layers on all of those things. And so when I'm asking for wins and I'm asking you to think about that, I'm continually trying to just pull your frame of thinking into what have I done well this week on? Because naturally, sometimes we think about where we fall short. Naturally, a lot of times because we're our own biggest judge on where, because we all, if you're in this group, you have bigger goals. Not just for health and fitness, but for your life as well. If you're in this group, you're naturally dreaming bigger in some form in your life. That's why you're here. And so continually to pull away and move our focus from what I'm always struggling to what I'm moving and doing well at does move us forward. That doesn't mean we're delusional and think that we need to work on things, but we can continue to double down on the things that we're doing really good at and then ask ourselves the deeper questions on why and what we're struggling on instead of just sitting here beating ourselves up and I struggle with this and I struggle with binge eating. Why ask ourselves the better question? Let's ask ourselves the better question of why is it that I'm binge eating? Okay, well simply we can be like, well, let's look at my day. Let's really look at this. Oh, I didn't eat until 2 today. And then I ate a little thing, and then I ate, a supper, and all of it was with good intention. But then I was so hangry. I worked out, and I was so hangry because I was under-caloried that I made a trip to the cupboard, still good intentions. I grabbed something small, but then I made a second trip, and then I grabbed, totally guilty of this myself. That's why I'm aware of it. And so we can really start peeling back the layers of the whys. And then we can be like, okay, I actually need to fuel myself earlier in the day, get the calories in so I actually have some control and I'm not so hangry in the evening. And that's how we can actually start to problem solve. That's just an example, right, of peeling back a layer of a problem. And so then it can be like, oh, well, that actually established this poor relationship with food because when I do that, then I overeat in the evening, I feel guilty about it. I wake up the next morning and I go, well, I overate last night, so I'm going to try to make up by not eating the first half of the day, and then we don't eat till 2 again, and the whole cycle starts all over. And we do this loop, and we loop, and we loop. And again, read between the lines of what I'm saying here. This is just an example. So we all have these loops in our life that a lot of times we loop, and it doesn't mean it's wrong, because every loop is an opportunity for that moment to be restored. Like there's restoration in all things in this. And so every time as we just grow, you can just slow down. And we've talked about this pausing for a moment. And that pause, what's it do? It helps bring us awareness. It brings us into a present moment. And it awakens our consciousness a little bit to actually see what's going on. And then we have the opportunity to actually break out of the loop. I always like visuals with things I'm talking about. And the last couple of weeks I've been really thinking about, like, we always think about the infinity loop, it's like the sideways 8. And so we think about this infinity loop, and that's always gotten more of like the praise of like, that's a beautiful thing. And it is a beautiful thing, but if you think about it, it's still just this loop over and over. But what do we say to ourselves when things are going bad and you start to stress about something? What's that term? We always say, oh, I'm starting to spiral. I'm spiraling. And I got to thinking, and I'm like, a spiral is actually, it's still a form of a loop, but there's a way out. And so how do we think when we're improving? We actually, instead of this downward spiral, we actually can reframe it and we can spiral up and out. Because if we go through this loop and we pause and we're starting to gain awareness of the same pattern over and over, the next time around, we have a higher perspective. We're panned out. And now we can overlook, and we have this higher perspective, this higher consciousness over what's going on, and we can start working through it. And so we can spiral up and out versus always thinking, oh, I'm spiraling downward into the abyss. Like, no, flip it. We're different. We're not subject to that. We can spiral up and out. And so if you think about it, even like if you've ever done any research on time is actually not linear. We always look at these linear maps of like, okay, in 1800 this happened and so on and so forth. Time is actually, they've shown, is actually not a linear thing. It's actually more of that spiral. And so if you think about it like that, and you start thinking about time being a spiral in this loop, then this starts to make sense a little bit of, oh, okay, I'm going through this because this moment needs to be redeemed for me. And I need to actually dwell on that and make that change. And so why was I really thinking about this today? Because as I was sitting down at the coffee shop doing some work this morning, I was thinking about your guys' October check-ins. Vortex and redemption. Yes, Marie, I love that. And I was thinking about your guys' check-ins. We did this first check-in in October. I had you guys think about, hey, you know, what are some action steps that we want to think about for the month of October? And I want you guys to pause here. I'm not picking on anybody, so don't take it like that. But I want to use it as a great teaching moment. Because what I wrote down even in my journal as I was writing all about this today, I was like, guilty of it too. And if your guys' check-ins made me aware of this, so thank you. So we did those check-ins. What are the action steps that we're going to take over the next 2 weeks in October? And then we did the second one 2 weeks following, right? Checking in on those. And so many of us in that second check-in couldn't remember the action step that we were taking 2 weeks ago, right? And I look at it and I'm like, oh shoot, I do this too. I do it in a day where I'm like, I got to get this done today. I did it this morning going to the coffee shop. I'm like, I had this list of things I was going to accomplish there when I didn't have any distractions. And I sit down and I'm like, oh yeah, what am I doing here again? And I had to really sit and focus and get present and be like, okay, what are my steps? And so it really got me thinking then about our check-in process and things like that and improving and how do we actually improve and move forward with our goals and our ambitions and our dreams in our life and not continue the same loop over and over and over again. And I'm like, okay, so we need to be, I got to thinking about this and I could be wrong and this could be different for everybody. But when we're filling out these check-in forms, this is my goal for you. You need to answer those because the reason I'm giving them to you is because they're for you. They're actually not for me. Yes, I'm reading them. Yes, I want to hold you accountable. That is the purpose. But the questions are posed so you write something down and it consciously makes you think about what you wrote and how that feeling connects into your heart. So we talk about that. We need to grow here, connect it here so the transformation is lasting. I've been preaching that since day one. And so when we're feeling this same kind of concept, when you're taking a moment and writing those down, you should feel what we're writing. And you should do it in a sense that this is 100% for me, as in you, like yourself, not for Jordan. So Jackie, this is for you. Harold, this is for you. Lamar, this is for you, like when you're writing it. And so that way, when you're doing that, that feeling connects with you and you take that with you the next day and Tuesday and Wednesday. And so maybe it's something that when you write it down to me in the form, maybe if you need to, you should be having your journal there or a piece of paper and you're physically writing it down as well. Or you're at least taking a snapshot with your phone and being able to, like, I need to put this somewhere where I can see it, where I can review it. And so literally what I was writing even this morning, I'm like, so even though my clients typed out the responses to me, once they hit submit and it was sent to me, for many, the thoughts were gone. Almost as though they just completed a homework assignment for a passing grade. But the response was for themselves, not for me to pass or fail them. If they would have written down their responses in their journal as well as, or paper, as well as making it visible or tangible to themselves, would have the result been different? So I'm asking myself a question there of like, how do I improve on my process for you guys? How do I help you guys accomplish these things more? And so I'm just posing the same question to you because I want you to, some of these things, some of you are going to take and run with me like, yeah, that's what I need. That's the purpose of why I'm talking about it. So there does need to be a reframing in how we think about our check-ins. It's for the client more than me. It goes with the thought process of things in my life don't happen to me, they happen for me. Reframe. This is about me. How am I talking to myself? And answering these questions for me. How am I answering to me? How am I consciously awakening to myself so I can end these loops and take a step forward? And then this kind of is my closing thought behind this. I go, how lucky am I that this doesn't happen overnight? How lucky am I that my goals don't just happen because I made and set the goal? And I'm gaining the ability to awaken to my thoughts, my patterns, and learn the new way about myself, that I can spiral up and into more instead of repeating the same loop over and over again. So ask yourself that and take a moment tonight and think about, man, okay, I have these goals. I can go through some frustration that they're not accomplished yet. Guilty of that, right there with you. But then I have these moments and I'm like, man, I feel the self-development happening within me. I feel the emotional response being better when I get frustrated. I feel that change within myself. And then I can actually be like, oh man, like, how lucky am I that I'm cared for so much that I don't just get what I want the minute I want it. That it actually is this process to grow my heart, to grow my mind, to grow the way I think. So when I receive it, it's not wasted and it's not squandered and it's actually for the best. That's what personal development is. That's what life is. That's what living beyond average is. Like that, I mean, that's the joy of our life, is actually getting to live out our life. And so when you set the goal and you get a little bit into it and you're frustrated and you hit the wall, you hit the plateau, pause. Don't just ditch the goal. I'd like to encourage you, don't just ditch the dream. Because if your dreams and your goals are actually big enough, there should be big enough waves hitting you that are trying to that are opposing what you want to do, because it's hard, because you set something big for your life. And those are all the formative processes that grow you, that shape you into who you actually are. The thing that you're actually envisioning yourself on. Like, you're envisioning already what you are and what you want, but then that actually has to be formed. The clay has to be molded. And that's the process, right? You're on the spinning wheel building clay. You guys have all seen that. It's a process, and once in a while you got to smash the clay down because you fumbled it, and you build it back up and you do the thing. And you try again, and you mold again. And you learn a little bit of like, okay, my placement of my thumbs have to be here, not here, because every time I do it, I don't like the shape of that. But when we start viewing and reframe our process in how we're going about that day to day, then man, like you understand you actually have way more control of the outcome than you think you do because you're a co-creator in all of it. And that's where it gets super fun. And that's when you start being present in the moment. Be where your feet are at. We've all heard it. It's so cliche. But then when you actually do it, you're like, oh my God, maybe it's not just a cliche saying. Maybe this actually makes sense. Like if I actually think about where I'm at for a moment, because we're all busy in our mind. One of the busiest in my mind. And it's because I have a bunch of clients and I have a bunch of goals and I have a bunch of things. So I'm thinking all the time. And I have to take a breath. I stop and I pause and I do this. I breathe in for 5 seconds and I hold it for a second and I breathe out for 7. It almost feels like I'm suffocating the first time I did that. And I started doing that a little bit. Just a little breathing, getting present, connecting my mind with my heart, and it quiets down, and I can focus on what I need to focus on, and I can be more impactful on what I need to be impactful on, and I can start being productive instead of being so busy. And so in every moment, every time you're starting something new, jumping on to play darts here in a minute, you can take a breath and you can just, okay, I gotta get Harold might be thinking, I got a million other things I gotta get done, but you can enjoy the hour of darts because that's your present moment of darts. Or you can enjoy the 30 minutes on the bike because you're smashing the bike, whatever it is. Like we can just be super present and then we get done with that, recenter, go into the next thing, be present in that. And I think that is a very, I'm working on this. You guys know I don't teach anything that I haven't experienced or I'm not experiencing and that I don't believe has a positive outcome. And so I'm in it with you 100%. And so something I'm continually working on to be a better leader, to be more present with my family, to get more things done, and to still focus on other things that are important besides just output, but also rest. And rest isn't always just sitting on the couch. Rest is very much here. And that's why I try to breathe and pause for a second, because we need to rest here. We can be on the bike and still be resting. But if it's always noisy here, it's really hard. You could be sleeping in your bed all day and not be in rest. Been there as well. And so that's what I felt this weird thing today on this needs to be talked about. And so you guys know how I roll. Whatever I'm feeling. I know it's for somebody in the room. Maybe it's for one, maybe it's for all of us. But that's how we roll in here. So Renee, that's so good. Hold on, I gotta pull up my chat box one way. Hold on. Okay. So true, mental health is so important. Yes. Okay, Lamar, this is great. 2 thoughts. Win the day. Small wins turn into big wins. Make a get done list as opposed to a to-do list. Yeah, I like that, Lamar. That's good. Lamar's bringing the wisdom into the room. We need it. I love it, man. Thank you so much for that. That's so good. I'm going to say that one more time. I'm sure you guys can maybe see the chat too, but 2 thoughts. Win the day. It's just today. That's a present moment thought. Right now, today. Not future tripping over tomorrow or over next week. Future tripping is just anxiousness and anxiety over something that hasn't happened yet and likely isn't going to happen. Number 2, small wins turn into big wins. That's exactly right. Doing something right now, and if you guys follow my IG at all, I literally talked about this morning. That's funny that you said this, Lamar, because small wins turn into big wins. So I'll use this as an example. If you wanted to hike Mount Everest, that's a pretty big goal. But the reality of that goal starts right now by going for a walk. So a small win turns into a big one by starting right now on a small win. And then this is just the biggest reframing thought of the night right here. Make a get done list opposed to a to-do list. I love that. This is what I gotta get done. Go ahead. Oh, okay, yep, you like that? I'm sorry, I misheard you there. Yeah, I love that, Debo. All right, you guys, that's fire. Okay, so that's the big piece tonight. Is there any questions, comments that we want to go over on any of that? Anybody got anything? I've talked enough. Nothing? Anyone? Anyone got anything? Final moments, if you got something. All right.
Drink your water.
Drink your... Hydrate.
Please, boss.
That's right. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for jumping on. LOL. Thank you so much for jumping on your Wednesday night, giving yourself these 20 minutes. I like to make them short, but I always hope they're impactful to somebody who needs it in the room on these calls. And so I will post the recording if you need to re-listen. If there's a little piece in there that you're like, oh, I need to catch something on that, I'll post it up for you guys. And you guys, let's crush the rest of our week. Check-ins will be going out this Sunday. They're going to be focused mainly on our focus for November. Okay, so it'll be kind of resetting some action steps and getting locked in for the next month. Crush the rest of your week. We'll talk to you soon. Love you guys. See you later.